their own Grand Slam, so good luck to them. I think here there's a full house at the Knoll. It'll be a great game. Tomorrow, obviously, I mean, everybody, it's going to be the biggest party in Cardiff for sure, whatever happens tomorrow night. And tonight, I think it's the Ospreys, you know, have supplied some of the best players for Wales this year, so it'd be great if they could pick it up tonight.
Now then, if you want to watch the under-21s and you have the interactive service, you can press the red button and have the option of English language or Welsh language commentary. Robert Jones is at the Knoll. Evening, Robert. The mini Grand Slam, but still a Grand Slam.
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, the excitement amongst Welsh fans has come to the Knoll this evening. There's a huge crowd here, a huge crowd waiting outside, and you know, we're looking at the likes of Aled Brew, Andrew Bishop, Matthew Jones, Jonathan Mills, who have all performed so well this year in the Celtic League for the Ospreys and the Scarlets respectively, and these guys have an opportunity in front of the cameras, in front of such a huge crowd, to put Wales in the driving seat maybe for this weekend and put them on the ladder obviously to the success that we want tomorrow.
We'll be back with Robert later. First, back here at St Helens, it's Celtic League action, and this is what the table is all about. The Ospreys way out on top, Mike.
Yeah, we can see they've got a very healthy 12-point lead, and if they can win tonight and Munster don't get anything, then they take the title. But don't rule out the Dragons. They still got a chance, just 6 points adrift of Munster, so they've still got a lot to play for themselves.
So it's the Ospreys against the Dragons. It's been a beautiful day here at St Helens. Stuart is down on the touchline. Stu, you've been out the deck chair today?
Say it again, Ed, sorry?
Have you been out in a deck chair in this wonderful Swansea sunshine, Stuart? Pay attention.
I've been doing a little bit of fence work out the back, Ed. Very kind of you to ask. But looking forward to my night's rugby. An amazing weekend, and a theme running through it, I think, because we've got the under-21s going, and the Ospreys, of course, as much as any region, prepared to throw the youngsters in, and we're seeing plenty of representation from that region tomorrow as well. So let's hope none of it goes pear-shaped and it's a weekend to remember.
Thank you, Stu. We'll be hearing from you later. There we have the dressing rooms here. First of all, Mike, home team.
Yeah, and Durston full-back there to Blanche, who's been in good form for them on the wing. Nice centre partnership, Bishop and Savali, even though they've got players missing, and they're the understudies, and Spice, who really does make them tick.
Mobility is the name of the game. James Bater in the back row, Steve Tandy. They've left a couple of big names on the benches. And up front, of course, Barry Williams. They're so much the inspiration of the recycling game.
And the Dragons have been going well at home, haven't they? They found it a bit tougher on the road. Tupoloto at full-back tonight instead of Montgomery. Nathan Bruce, Steve Wynn, couple of tries last time we saw him on scrum 5. And Craig Wallow, he's been in good form as the understudy as well.
The Dragons pack, always formidable. Jamie Ringer, one of the outstanding performers this season. Peter Sidoli, Ian Goff in the second row. And James Richards at hooker. Just a reminder, for the under-21s Grand Slam decider, the interactive service is available. Press red for the Knoll. We're staying here at St Helens. Scrum 5 live from Swansea for the Ospreys against Dragons, and we can join our commentators, Jonathan Davis and Gareth Charles.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. As you say, a great weekend all round, Jonathan. Possible title here, and what a weekend, what a way for Wales to finish the season.
Well, it would be fantastic. It's going to be a great occasion, and let's hope the under-20s started off in style tonight. I know I was there earlier, and they are certainly up for it. Yeah, it looks like a fantastic weekend of rugby. The weather will be nice, so nice, attractive rugby will suit us anyway.
Yeah, you were there to present the shirts to the under-21s earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, you know, very privileged to present the shirts to the under-21s. They looked really up for it, well organised, you know, and you know, yeah, they are really, really looking forward to it. You know, they've done really well, 3 away wins. Ireland coming home, you know, to the Knoll. It's lovely to see a full house here. You know, there's a lot of people here tonight to say there's a real feel-good factor in Welsh rugby. You know, and if they win tomorrow, well, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. But it's a lovely feeling.
Jason Forster leading the Dragons on the long trek down from the cricket changing rooms at dear old St Helens, that will be no longer, of course, next season, with the marvellous new stadium down at the Morfa. And Rod Snow won't be here next season either. He's announced that 35 coming up in May, he will be retiring from rugby at the end of the season. But somebody who's signed on for another spell with the Newport Gwent Dragons, Ian Goff, been involved with the Welsh camp this season, came on as a replacement against Italy. But no changes for Mike Ruddock, a settled side, and that's been very important as well for the success that Wales have had in the Grand Slam season.
Well, it's the first time that you know, they've been unchanged, so it's a vote of confidence for all the side. It'll be a huge confidence boost after the Scottish performance. But Ireland is a totally different game, and it's going to be a very, very tough game tomorrow. The Irish have come here to win, make no doubt about it.
Also come here to win is Barry Williams, skipper of the Ospreys. Jason Spice got the very important try for them last week, or a fortnight ago, out in Leinster, to keep their hopes alive. And Duncan Jones,
yeah, it's a big game. I think it's a big game for Duncan Jones. You know, he's back in the fold, and fortunately for him, you know, there's been no changes in the Welsh front row or on the bench, because they've all been playing exceptionally well. But this guy could go on the Lions tour, and now it's down to how he plays in the regional games, and he knows it. You know, he's got the ability to get on that Lions tour, so a big game.
Olan Trevor of Ireland, the man in charge this evening for the all-Welsh clash, first against third, and the Dragons must win to keep their faint hopes of the championship alive, but they will want to finish in that top four as high as possible, get a home draw for the Celtic Cup, which will see off the current season. But it's the Celtic League on the minds of the Ospreys as Sean Connick gets them underway, but gets them underway not in the best of styles, but by putting it straight out and giving the Dragons a scrum back on halfway.
Well, a poor start. You know, it's perfect conditions tonight, no wind, just overhit it, which gives that position now to the Dragons. Very good attacking position.
Dragons holding the edge in terms of weight, and that's a good scrum as well for Gareth Baber to work from. Little juggle from Craig Warlow, then recovers. No recovery from Tuipulotu, not that it mattered, because midfield were offside anyway.
Well, not the greatest start for the Dragons, or for the Ospreys to say that.
And there goes the ball again, and hacked through, and the race is on. Connor and Mustoe both miss it. Well, would you credit it? The two sprinters came from the Ospreys. They were heading the pack, but they left the ball behind. Ian Goff said thanks a lot, and the clearance kick still isn't out of play. But the Ospreys, with barely over a minute on the clock, should have got some points on the board as well. Andy Lloyd didn't get shot a bit quickly enough, and the penalty will go to the Dragons, and much relief as well.
Some big hits in defence. There's the tackle straight away. And there the chase is on. But watch Gareth Wyatt, he's sneaking up on the outside. He just misses it, doesn't he? Just misses the kick. Corner, and an opportunity missed. It was a big hit there. I think it was Andrew Lloyd. Was Andrew Lloyd or Bater? I think it was Andrew Lloyd, didn't it?
White, move!
Well, that's a start to make sure that everybody keeps their eyes on the game.
Hold!
Make sure that everybody's focused, players and crowd. That's a good kick from Sean Connor.
Nice strike, Sean Connor. There we are, lovely strike. Make sure. Disappointing, the attitude of the Dragons, you know, at first scrum, attacking scrum, opportunity to attack either side. Wallow goes in the pocket and looks for the kick.
And it is Craig Wallow who's taken a knock, and he's receiving treatment at the moment. If you haven't got tickets for the game tomorrow, by the way, remember BBC Wales have put on a big screen outside City Hall. I think there'll be a fair few in the crowd, because it promises to be another nice day. You Cardiff is going to be jam-packed tomorrow afternoon.
Free kick advantage.
Advantage being played to the Dragons at the moment.
Here we are, guys. Wait.
None coming.
15, no.
Gareth Faber wanted to tap and go, but not allowed.
Numbers.
He does this time, but the defence are ready and waiting for Rhys Oakley.
Wide away. That's good.
James Richards tackled behind the gain line.
Some ferocious tackling by the Ospreys. Now they've got an overlap.
Goff straight into Barry Williams.
Should have given it to me there.
Okay, leave him.
Launch has plenty of time. He called for the clean catch. Wasn't sure if it was going to be awarded or not, and he was safely inside his 22 when he did it.
Kick, Stefan.
It's a great strike.
Lovely kick again to Blanche.
Don't come in. Do not come in.
22.
Roll in.
Nice line out take by Peter Sidoli.
Out. Over. It's over. Hand away.
Control from the Dragons forwards. Baber was outside his 22, so couldn't go direct to touch, even if he wanted. Then Blanche spotted a bit of space behind,
Take advantage.
but it came from his hand as he followed up as well.
They can't, but you can't go into him either.
Well, it's Munster against Ulster, which is the other important game tonight. If Munster lose and the Ospreys win, they are champions, and there has been an early try at Musgrave Park. Jim Williams can't gather either. Cunningham collects, and Cunningham chases up his own kick. Williams missed it, Cunningham scores, and Ulster hits straight back. It's Munster 3, Ulster 5. Well, that's good news for the Ospreys. A bit of silverware could well be arriving earlier than planned. And the Welsh boys involved tomorrow, back supporting the home team as well when they get a bit of time off.
Over here. I want you to get
Ryan
tight
Jones
over
and Adam Jones,
here. Tight in. Your arse is out in the air.
two
Tight.
of the boys
Go,
involved
yeah.
tomorrow.
Ball. No ball. Stay bound. No ball. Come over here. You don't get tight. I'm going to penalise you. We don't get tight. Put it down, it goes in. Crouch and hold. Engage. No.
And Shane Williams,
Hold.
who's performed so well in the Six Nations, and great things expected from him again tomorrow.
Yeah, scrum under pressure, hands in.
Hands in the scrum,
I
guys.
think it's the first penalty for the Ospreys.
Here we are on the time. Okay.
There's a lot of toing and froing in the scrums. The
Guys, no hands in the scrum,
referee had to
please.
get in there and reset them.
Right corner. Barry. Come in this side, okay? Very careful. And your guys
And then
are
when the
out.
pressure did come on,
There's a hand in here somewhere. Well, if you could spot a hand in there, you're a very clever man. But Orlan Trevor was in the right position, saw it clearly.
Matthew Jones outside half for the Welsh under-21s at the Knoll this evening. So Sean Connor takes his place, takes over the kicking duties, and puts over the first penalty of the evening.
Yeah, lovely clean strike.
Not quite a try, but it's points.
And P-E-N. Pen.
Okay. Go backwards.
Slipped through Newman's fingers, but collected by his partner, Bateman. Andy Lloyd
Get out.
gets the Ospreys going forward. have much time.
6 and 7. Ringer and Forster really quick out of the blocks there.
And under the circumstances, Sean Connor did extremely well. Jason Spice in a hurry to go. Lovely one-handed pass from Seveali, and well under pressure by Bishop as well. Another one from Durston to Mustow. Great handling by the Ospreys.
Good play, but good cover by Gareth Baber as well. Superb. Definitely a block there, I think.
That's what created the gap for Jason Spice in the end.
Quick hands, bang, he's away. Superb tackle by Baber. Goes to ground. Support comes. It was very difficult to see what they were from that angle. There was definitely a block in there somewhere. That's what the penalty was for.
Big Wallow still struggling a little bit from that early knock.
Come on, guys, move. White, move. Wait, move out. I don't care. There you are. Hold.
Front door was wide open for Ian Goff.
Hands away now. Hold. Hands away, back foot.
Chris Anthony looking to protect it and take it on himself. That's the Ospreys 22. Win on the short ball. Good support from Jamie Ringer. Wyatt, chip and chase. Lyndon Bateman is back there. Good drive from Goff, which has spilt the ball back on the Dragons side, but it hit the foot of Andrew Millward.
Yeah.
Dragons just a touch unfortunate that time. And that allows the Ospreys to clear.
Lovely chip. Bateman does exceptionally well here. But a good drive. I think it's Goff that comes in. Bang, good tackle. He's off balance, Bateman. And that is offside. I think that is offside. Definite ruck was formed there. There's an offside line. Millward kicked it from an offside position.
Hands away, Black. Hold. He's okay.
Connor looks to the open side. It's another good strike from the outside half.
Yeah, bounce favours the Ospreys. Good touch find. Picking out the ball out of hand exceptionally well tonight.
It was a fair old distance he had to make, but made it with a bit to spare.
Work now on the gaps, guys. Work.
There's nothing really in it at the moment. You know, nearly 12 minutes gone.
Don't come in
No
early.
pack has got the upper hand. Maybe the Ospreys in the slightly in the scrum.
It's over.
And it disrupted a few of their line-outs, so they'll have to work on their set-piece play a little bit.
Right on the ground.
Lynn Jones will not be happy with the discipline.
It was a good tackle by Duncan Jones initially, but the hand then went in on the floor. Temptation is too great.
Four. Watch the rock.
The tackle places it.
Big Andy Newman got his paws on that one. Newman it is, who tries to turn Goff in a tackle, but it is safe Dragons ball. Switch just churning up on this stand side. Very quickly the Ospreys midfield defence was up, and that's why they've turned it over.
To go left, to go straighten up here.
Flicked on.
Great skills.
Beautifully, Durston is up there. Mustow just hanging back the touch. Now he's motoring, and he's away and clear.
Lovely try.
Great try by Richard Mustow. The sleight of hand in midfield, but how's about that for finishing?
Savayali, lovely pass. They straightened up, but watch them holding. This is all about the give and take. First of all, watch this, the turnover ball. Lovely sleight of hand there. Take and give. Watch him straighten up. Lovely pass. And it's just blistering place. Down the wing. Mustoe scores. Very good. So just watch Durston. Holds his man up. Gives Mustoe that little bit of space to get on the outside of Baber. Lovely try by the Ospreys. Well, it's a try that deserves 2 extras, and Sean Connor supplies them. So the Ospreys are up to double figures with the first try of the evening here. 10 points to 0, they lead. And there's been an early try at the Knoll. Commentating Nick Webb.
Could be still a chance on here as Ireland snipes through the green defence. James Ireland to Matthew Jones. That'll surely be the first try for Wales as Matthew Jones canters in. Glorious Welsh counter-attacking rugby.
Well, a try that could have been crafted from the game here this evening. The Newport scrum half, James Ireland, and the Neath and Osprey scrum half, Matthew Jones, combining well.
Okay.
There is commentary available on the interactive service in both Welsh and English from the Knoll. 10-0 is the latest score there as well for Wales. Anybody who's watching on the digital satellite service, press your red button and you can get the under-21s game.
Time off. Time off.
Well, Craig Wallow noticeably struggling from an early stage, and even after just a quarter of an hour he departs, and this is going to be a big shout for young Daniel Griffiths. Very promising Newport outside half. In fact, it's Nathan Brew who's coming off. He is just recovering from an ankle injury, so if Craig Wallow doesn't stay the course as well, then it could mean trouble, and Griffiths has had to slot into the position which he's not accustomed to really. He's gone back to full back, and Tuipulotu has gone up to centre.
Well, that's a sensible move there, because it would have been a very big weakness in our defensive line, with Dan Griffiths and Craig Wallow. They will have targeted that, so bigger, stronger Tuipulotu there.
Leave it black! Leave it black! Stay. Get out! Playing advantage! Number 5 in the side! Have the advantage!
Barry Williams keeping it alive to Duncan Jones, and Andrew Millward completing the triumvirate of the front row. Andy Lloyd really showing his strength, taking on Gareth Baber a couple of times and keeping it available.
Number 5 in the side! Number 5 black in the side!
Noticeable that Duncan Jones is getting through a lot of work in this opening quarter. Out with a broken thumb. And interesting to see that Mike Ruddock had actually considered him for this game, but because of his lack of playing time, stuck with Gethin Jenkins and John Yapp.
Well, they've played well. Gethin Jenkins has played exceptionally well, and John Yapp, as an impact player, he's certainly made an impact, and that is the danger when the side is going well. If you get an injury, it's very difficult to force your way back in. So, but there's a healthy competition for places now in the majority of places in the Welsh squad, which is very, very healthy. This will be a big kick. He's quite confident. Struck the first one well.
Sean Connor strikes that one well, but not quite well enough. But still in play. Terblanche. Tuipulotu's called for it. Terblanche got his hand in the way, but it's Dragons' ball.
Take it out, take it out!
to Pilotu. Makes absolutely certain that time.
Yeah, Robert, they need to raise their game a little bit. Not much happening for the Dragons. Very conservative approach behind. You know, most of the first option is to kick out a hand and get field position. I don't think they've worked out the Ospreys defence. You know what they do? They rush up, out to in, blitz defence. They knew that, that's what they've been doing all season.
Duncan Jones as the ball carrier. Well presented. Connor had just had to step back for that one. Slightly high on Terblanche. Accidental, says the referee, so play continues. Durston had just drifted over to the blind side, but Connor prefers the other direction. And for the moment, it's all that the Dragons can do is just clear from their own 22. Certainly the Ospreys who are having the better of the opening quarter, and that reflected in the score.
The Dragons are very flat, you know, when they play at home there's always a buzz and intensity there. At the moment it's missing, so Jason Forster, he's got a, you know, a quiet word with some of his players who's just cheered up a little bit.
Spice looking to give Richard Musto another run. Spilt out.
Well, if the ball comes out now, it's a great opportunity because there's a couple of players injured on the ground.
Barry Williams to Duncan Jones, looking for somebody else, not forcing the 50-50 ball. Waited for Andy Lloyd to come driving in on him.
Overlap.
Spice, Connor. Straight out. He'll be disappointed with that. Certainly, initially, the chance was there.
There's a definite opportunity there. There's a quick ball, a couple of players injured. Definite advantage. As the ball comes out, there we are. He's got to straighten up there. Why the man comes on the inside, I do not know. Stay out, 3-on-2, good opportunity to score a try.
Don't knock it
The
wide.
support runner took the option away from Sean Connor.
Get up 4, get up. Get out at 5, get out 5. Get out 2. Get out 1. Get out. Leave it. Hold.
And Olan Trevor is making absolutely sure that the Ospreys don't creep in offside on those driving mauls of the Dragons.
Hold. You're off in the centre. Taking advantage, Black.
It's Rhys Oakley who sets
Take
it up.
advantage.
Steve Wynn on the short ball.
Take advantage, Black.
Advantage still being played for the Dragons at the moment. Forster. Again, Duncan Jones is the one who gets the tackle in. And already his tackle count is pretty impressive.
Number 12. Number 12, you're up too fast.
Well, I'm not sure if he is offside. He shot out of the blocks extremely quick. He's putting himself about, old Duncan Jones.
One.
And they want to go for goal. Dan Griffiths was quite prepared to go for the corner.
Do that.
But Jason Forster realised what was happening.
On the mark here.
And it'll be the youngster who goes for goal himself.
Yeah, big goal.
Hasn't had that many opportunities for the regional side, Dan Griffiths. But he is highly thought of at Rodney Parade. Underneath it a bit, and indeed it drops short. So the Dragons,
He's disappointed with that kick,
Yeah.
you know. got direction, as you said, just got under it.
The count is still blank at the moment.
Don't cross that line, guys. Dragons, do not cross that line. Okay, just don't cross the line. Stay away.
Nicely taken by Ian Goff, going backwards and under pressure.
Hold.
Weber, Wallow,
Hands away wide, get
no
out,
way
get out!
through
Get out!
to Gareth Wyatt.
Hold.
Nice dummy by
Hands
Oakley,
away wide.
using Oakley rather, by Weber.
Back it up, boy!
It's the
Get away
close
wide.
quarter stuff that
Wide away!
has brought the
Wide
Dragons
away.
the little headway they have had so far.
It's a rock!
Right.
Wide away! Leave him, don't.
Away goes Gareth Weber. Steve Wynn
Hands away wide!
can't get the pass in though. Wallow, they flood midfield, and there comes the turnover ball. Now a couple of passes and they could be away, but Ben Breeze came in to prevent because they were queuing up on the outside for a breakaway try for the Ospreys.
Yeah. And all the crowd think it was a deliberate knock-on. Poor pass, lined him up, big hits. You can't give long passes when they're playing the blitz defence. They're just going to come in and smash you. There's the knock-on. Could have gone either way, really. Deliberate knock-on. Or did he play for it?
Andy Lloyd replaced by Nathan Bonner-Evans, and Craig Wallow only stayed on a further 10 minutes. He's replaced by John Bryant. They've kept Dan Griffiths at fullback. Connor goes for the outside break, but Ringer was with him all the way. Excellent cover by Jamie Ringer.
I thought that a Newport Dragon player played at that ball. It was a very good tackle by Jamie Ringer. He thought he had the pace to hit the gap, but Jamie Ringer is a very quick for a blindside flanker.
Tuipulotu now at outside half. He'll run at the Ospreys defence. Steve Wynn just caught in there for a second, and Ben Breeze, which means that a precious few 3 quarters out in the back division for the Dragons at the moment. Good driving on though, Goff and Sidoli involved. Weber ducks under the tackle but loses the ball in contact. It was good work by Foster, Richards, and then the 2 second rows.
I think he was hit there. Barry Williams acknowledged that he'd caught him. It was an accident. I think he was clipped around the snooze button, I think.
And remember, the potential Grand Slam game, 3:30 kickoff, 3 o'clock start on BBC, 10 past on S4C. And another live game from the Celtic League on Sunday afternoon from Stradey Park, with highlights on Scrum 5 at 5:30 and at 10:35 on Monday evening on S4C. And while Gareth Weber gets treatment, we can return to the Knoll where there's been another try.
O'Leary beating Trimble on the blind side. Trimble could create something here, and it's the number 8 Stephen Ferris who crashes over in the corner.
Try went unconverted, so 10-5 Wales is lead now.
He goes in, hang on. Oh, accidentally just clips him on the top of the head with his knee, and he acknowledges it. As soon as he gets up, Barry Williams goes, oh, hang on. He's caught on the top of the head, purely accidental.
Their ball going forward. Stay up now. Yeah.
Well, there are no more backs on the bench for the Dragons. They got 2 props 2 second rows and a hooker. So
One, you square. One.
they're going to have to stay on there as long as they can. Shrug of the head from Baber, and he's okay.
Hold, stay bold.
Corner.
Okay.
Oh, lovely hands from Durston to Bishop. Musto coming up alongside him, and Seveali. Steve Tandy was quicker than the lot of them. Too quick, possibly.
Away, swell.
Ben Breeze back to cover for the Dragons. And they gave away the penalty, the Ospreys, but a great breakout, and again, superb passing. That time by Durston to put Bishop in the gap.
Well, it starts off, it's just a missed pass and a missed tackle, a lovely offload. Musto's got to get on his left-hand shoulder, and it's try time. The pass is poor, another opportunity missed. That's 2 tries gone begging now for the Ospreys. A lovely break once again though.
Time off, guys. Time off, Tim.
Dragons have cleared as far as halfway in the meantime.
So it's a lovely break. Just the pass behind Tandy, but Musto on the left wing. It should have been on his shoulder. Then a second try for him.
Because Tandy did extremely well to get up there. Musto needed to be that metre or two closer. And there's been another try in Musgrove Park between Munster and Ulster. And let's see that well, trying to loosen things up. It's Roger Wilson, the number 8. He's over, and Ulster have scored. Just coming up to half-time, just what the Ospreys want, and it's Ulster who go into the lead. Munster 8. It is indeed just what the Ospreys want. 15-8. Ulster leading.
2 very simple tries for Ulster there.
Of course, Munster suffering far more than Ulster from international call-ups. Oakley stopped in his tracks. Richards was there in support. Snow takes it on. Just over halfway into the final 10 minutes of this first half. Ospreys 10 up, but they could be double that. They've had a couple of other try-scoring opportunities. Musto back there. Ball just making touch.
Well, the one thing that's dominating this game now is the Ospreys defence. They just haven't got no answer to it. The Dragons are not going through the phases. They're kicking ball away. Just got to try and break on this blitz defence.
He needs something before the end of this first half. Tuipulotu held by Tandy. And not just held, but turned as well. That's excellent work from the open side.
And a no overlap.
Penalty goes against the Ospreys for coming in the side. And the home crowd, naturally enough, pretty frustrated at the decision.
On the side, guys.
So the second chance for Daniel Griffiths.
Certainly been a stop-start affair. Olin Trevor is making his mark on the game. Certainly enjoys the whistle.
Okay. Borderline there.
The distance was too great the first time. This one still just over 40 metres.
Yeah, he's just got to strike it through, hasn't he? Follow through, don't get under it.
That's a better strike. But Wasn't the distance this time. Direction instead. So the Dragons still pointless at the moment.
Don't cross the line, Black. Don't cross. Okay.
Sophie put under pressure by Richard Musto. Snow. Tupelotu trying to get some space wide. Griffiths as well. Rees. Cross comes Durston. Nice slide and down and up and clear in one movement.
Yeah, it did well. Well, you know, they've kicked a lot of possession away. Maybe they've got good territory. They haven't done anything with it. Plus, look, possession. Just think they've got to do something more with it.
Well, for all those statistics, the Dragons have not threatened. The Ospreys' one try may have come from distance, but they've had a couple of other chances as well, and there's been no clear-cut chances at all for the visitors so far. Indiscipline has been a problem for the Ospreys, though. Maybe that's prevented them putting too many phases together. The take by Goff. See if the Dragons can work something and get a driving maul on. Watch out for this tactic from the Irish tomorrow afternoon. And Paul O'Connell and Malcolm O'Kelly, that's what they love to do. But that wasn't too effective from the Dragons. Wales will be more than happy if that's the way the Irish lines go. Forster tries to recover things. Ringer.
Hands away, Seven.
Tandy with the tackle.
Hands away.
James Richards. But again, they can't break the gain line. Bit of lazy defending from Lyndon Bateman. John Bryant picks up. I think Gareth Faber thought he may have a penalty coming, but then the advantage was over, and it's just wasted possession in the end. So it doesn't matter how much possession you get, it doesn't matter that you're playing down on the opponent's territory if that's all you end up doing.
No, exactly. With all the possession, you should be trying to create a little bit. And as I mentioned, the blitz defence is not new to any of the Celtic League sides that have played against the Ospreys. They do it, you know, very, very often, and they do exceptionally well as well.
The boys and girls of Gendros and Penclough there we saw, they're the ones who've been providing the pre-match and half-time entertainment through the Dragon Sports Scheme. The youngsters have had their appetite built up with the success of Wales in the Six Nations this year. Jamie Ringer trying to pick up the tempo for the Dragons as they see time running out. It's just 3 minutes plus stoppage time. Half a gap there for Baber, and he takes the opportunity. Chris Anthony used to play his rugby down here at St Helens for Swansea. Snow couldn't take it cleanly, and that's taken the momentum away. And as he hangs on to it, there goes the penalty, and there goes the possession.
And there goes the crowd. You heard the big cheer.
Back away, White, you must release, you're isolated. Hey, hey. Hey, you two, come here. You two, come here. Come here. Come here. Guys. Big boys, you're adults, you're professional rugby players. Cop on to yourselves, alright? Let's enjoy the game of rugby. Cop on to yourselves. Come on, shake hands. Shake hands, thank you. Release.
Jason Forster, Dragons captain, always a competitor, and Jason Spice, being a New Zealander, exactly the same.
Offside, United. Come out, Blacks. Dragons. Dragons. Hold that gap.
Andy Newman got up high for it. And it's the Ospreys' turn now to try and walk it downfield. That is well protected ball. Steve Tandy just getting in there as well, and as you'd expect, Andy Millward right in the thick of things. Spice, good run by Terblanche. Back to Spice again. Good tackle by John Bryant, because they were building up an overlap far side.
Had to be made that tackle. It's a good turnover.
Now then, can they make use of the numbers? Quick ball is what they're looking for. The Ospreys now just getting back to their positions, and Gareth Baber settling for the penalty.
Over here.
Oh, he's a very pedantic, isn't he, the referee?
And just a little flare-up. Duncan Jones on the floor. Thought that Jamie Ringer had a cheap shot at him.
Come back.
Well, that'll be interesting to see what happens there with Duncan Jones and Jamie Ringer.
Offside, you're fine.
Up here he goes, reacts to it. Thinks more of it.
5 minutes.
And Jamie Ringer felt the tackle was high, and Duncan felt that the boot was going in rather recklessly. But in the end, nothing too serious. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing?
We're looking at cards next, I think.
Well, got the range with his second attempt. Now needs to combine that with the direction to see if you can get Dragons 7 points before that half-time whistle goes. Quite again.
No, he hasn't got a distance tonight. He's a prolific goal kicker in the Premiership, but just hasn't got his sights right tonight.
Guys, sorry.
The referee just warning both captains.
You're looking at cards now,
The
guys.
yellow card could be produced, and Dan Griffiths extremely disappointed.
Just got to give it a little bit more, I think.
Okay. Get over White! Get over White, Rob!
Good chase by
Rob,
Musto.
Foster,
Hands away, release! He has it. Leave it now, White. Leave it, White.
it's on his way back on the Dragon side.
Wanted to return.
Baber, Oakley back inside to his scrum half. Tackle was high from Millward.
Wait, no, no, no! No! Captain White! Captain
Well,
White!
Andrew Millward, I think, is going to get yellow carded for that.
High tackle.
Well, that's a high tackle. That'll be interesting to see.
Well, he's the one who's come off second best in more ways than one. Cut eye and 10 minutes in the bin. And the crowd's frustration is being vented.
Well, let's have a look at this incident.
Just climbed on his back.
Wales 10, Ireland 5.
Yeah, he's got a left arm around Baber's head.
Yeah, but I think he was ducking into it again a little bit, you know. It's seen worse, and
Seen far worse.
Gareth Baber or none of the players reacted. There's been so many penalties for stop-start infringements, you know, and in up the side. I think maybe if anyone would have got to the bin, it'd be because of that.
The Dragons trying to make use now of this one-man advantage up front.
Get out, White one! Get out,
Smuggle
White
back and go again,
White
but
two away!
they aren't getting the men then coming on, because Jason Foster was way behind the game man when he took that, and struggling.
And I think there's been a stamp on the head as well. This could be a red card. Didn't see much. No, another yellow card.
It's Rhys Oakley.
What about the use of the boot to the head? And any advantage they did have has just gone. Keep an eye on number 6. There he is.
Well, he actually...
Well, he pulled out of it.
Yeah, he put his foot on the head, but
yeah, he pulled out. So I think that's well, 2 yellow cards. They've been very soft examples, isn't it? Really, I think neither shouldn't have gone off.
A rather strange end to proceedings. Proceedings which started so well with a lovely try, but really nothing much has come since then. But it has been the Ospreys by far who've had the upper hand, and at half-time the Ospreys lead the Dragons by 10 points to 0.
Sean Connor putting the Ospreys in the lead, and then after the penalty, a beaut of a try. Practically the length of the field. Richard Mustoe over after great hands from Sonny Tuipulotu, and then a little scrappy end. Andrew Millwood yellow carded for a high tackle. Rhys Oakley for, well, half a stamp on the head, a stamplet on the head, and there we have the Ospreys changing room. 10-0 up, could have been 10-9 if the Dragons, through Dan Griffiths, had kicked their penalties. Flat a bit, strange game.
Bizarre end to the game there with those 2 yellow cards, because I agree with John, I don't think either of them were yellow cards, and the ref having far too much of an influence, I think, on the game. But overall, the Ospreys, you know, they deserve their lead. They're trying to play all the football. We know how the Dragons play. You know, they like to hit it up, but it's slow. And when it's slow ball, you know, the Ospreys just picking them up in defence, and they should have scored another couple of tries. But the one try they did score was an absolute cracker.
To win the Celtic League tonight, the Ospreys need Munster to lose at home to Ulster at Musgrave Park. Commentator Gareth Lewis.
By Tyrone Howe. It did go backwards though, says the referee.
Come back, wait!
And it's Bryn Cunningham with a big Gary Owen chasing it. Jim Williams can't gather either. Cunningham collects and Cunningham chases up his own kick. Williams missed it. Cunningham scores and Ulster hits straight back. Murphy again back to Burke with space this time. Mullins again on the crash ball. Pops it up to Quinlan, to Burke. There's a man over. It's a try for Munster. As Kieran Campbell digs back to Larkin. Straight through the middle. Ward is there as well, trying to loosen things up. It's Roger Wilson, the number 8. He's over. And Ulster have scored. Just coming up to half-time. Just what the Ospreys want. Burke again. Long ball this time to Mullins. There's men over for Munster. They'll score. And they're over just on the stroke of half-time, and it's David Wallace, the former Ireland international.
18-15 to Munster. So it was a good start by Ulster, but...
Well, it's like a cracking game, but I think they look like they're going to get at least a bonus point tonight from that game, so I can't see that the Ospreys will win it tonight. But they can't worry about that. They're just going to make sure they concentrate on this game. They get the maximum points, because with Edinburgh and Connacht to come, I still think the Ospreys are going to win it. But Munster don't lose too many games at Musgrave Park.
And so to the under-21s going for the Grand Slam. Last game against the Irish under-21s at the Knoll. Huge crowd, 7,200. Nearly caused a delay in kick-off. We join the match. It's 3-0 to the under-21s.
As Ireland snipes through the green defence. James Ireland to Matthew Jones. That'll surely be the first try for Wales as Matthew Jones canters in. Glorious Welsh counter-attacking rugby. O'Leary feeling Trimble on the blind side. Trimble could create something here, and it's the number 8 Stephen Ferris who crashes over in the corner.
10-5 to the Welsh under-21s at the Knoll. Robert Jones, are you there?
I am, Ed, yes. I'm
How's it
enjoying
going?
it,
Looks pretty
actually.
tense.
It's a bit of a scrappy affair, I must be honest. Neither side has taken any control. Wales probably had the best start, and obviously Matthew Jones has kicked 2 penalties. Scored a try, kicked a penalty and converted that as well. But Ireland, in fairness, have come into it, and certainly in the last 10 or 15 minutes, Reardon on the left wing and Trimble in midfield have caused some problems to the Welsh side. But it's not the Welsh side that have performed so well up until now, but with 40 minutes to go. There's confidence there, certainly. I've spoken to some of the management, that they can turn around the form that we've seen so far and get a result, and of course get the Grand Slam.
Thank you, Rod. Second half commentary available on the interactive service live from the Knoll. Tense affair. Just press the red button.
I was going to say, Russell wrote down tense, and you think that if the under-21 game is tense...
Exactly.
Well, you know they're going for a Grand Slam, and it's difficult.
Just as a sort of preempt tomorrow, we always said the Irish game will be the one.
Yeah, I was chatting in the car actually on the way down, and we were saying that if France had actually won, if Ireland had beaten France last week, it might have been easier because both teams would have all the pressure. Let's not forget, Ireland are playing for the championship tomorrow and a Triple Crown, but there's a bit more pressure on Wales, and how do they handle that? I haven't been there before, and we know history, England, with the great side they had, blew it at the final hurdle, so let's hope that doesn't happen, but it's an added ingredient in the mix.
It is a theme to which we shall return before the night is out, but first the game here. Good try.
The highlight was the try, there's no question about that. It came off a turnover in midfield. I think we can have a look at it here. This is this blitz defence. Look at this, Steve Wynn here, he's hammered in midfield. And that is a feature of the way the Ospreys, from out to in, as John was saying, 3 of them attacking the same end. From this moment, turnover ball, they've got an opportunity. There's men over. Now, just have a look, Gareth Wyatt circled there, he gambles, he tries to rush in, but great pass from Elvis to get it away. And now we've got a 2-on-1 on the full-back, and for any youngsters watching, watch what Durston does here. He just holds his line and he gives the winger those 3 yards on the outside that he needs, and Musto takes that exceptionally well. But well done Durston. It was easy in that situation to just crab across the field, give the ball too early, give it too late, but here just perfect. Look, just holds Tupeloto enough and Musto's past him, and from there on it's just pace that takes him over. But cracking try.
Great pass by Elvis Tiliali to release him.
Gareth Wyatt gambled. And, if it comes off, you look the hero. If it hit him man and ball, if you don't, you look silly.
OK, back to tomorrow. Stuart has found a couple of actors.
Yeah, 2 very important cogs in the Welsh machine, but important for very different reasons. We've got Adam Jones first. Adam, I'm just going to show my age now, but it's no longer compulsory to go to the pictures the night before a game, is it?
No, well, we thought we'd come down and support the boys to see if we'll win the league, hopefully tonight, so, just give them a bit of support, really.
I'm sure it's very important to them that they're here. Shane, a huge week. Is it easy to approach it just like any other game?
Well, you've got to go in with that attitude, I think. Obviously, the game's massive, and there's a lot at stake, but the more relaxed you are going into these games, the better for you, I suppose. So we've got to keep our feet on the floor, really.
How have preparations gone? Has Mike been trying to keep a light mood with it all?
Yes, hasn't been as hard as the other weeks, but it's just building up slowly now, and hopefully we'll finish it off with a good win tomorrow.
And Shane, you've been you haven't been in a position to complain about not receiving any ball. Many wingers like him, and you've had plenty, but if you don't get any and it's 3-0 tomorrow, will you settle for it?
I'll settle for that, yeah. It'll be a great Six Nations. Yeah, we're playing the style of rugby that I enjoy, and I'm getting a lot of the ball, so I'm just really happy for that, really. But a win will do us tomorrow, however it comes.
I'm sure, though, Adam, you're expecting a bit of ferocity up front. Big job for you. You've locked the tight head all year. One more game of it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, the Irish, we played them in Munster and Leinster this season, and especially against Reggie, it's going to be a tough game, so hopefully we'll come up on top, and then I'm sure the boys in the backs will have more than the measure, really.
Yeah, well, everyone's delighted to see you this evening, guys. Next time, if you come back as Grand Slam wingers, you'll have an even bigger welcome. Best of luck tomorrow from all of us here, right?
Best of luck for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, good to see them here, but I must say it's slightly strange to see them here as well.
Well, I would be cooped up in the hotel, wouldn't you? And it was a sort of age-old tradition of the cinema and back the hotel and no interaction. But I think that's probably a feature of the way Mike Ruddock has approached everything. Very relaxed. They gave the guys a few weekdays off this week, so if it comes off, I think he's kept the pressure off the players, isn't he? After every win, he's kept the pressure off, and if they go in tomorrow playing the way they have, they've got a real chance.
It's a twin-pronged thing, isn't it? Because he has kept the pressure off and just go and do your own thing, relax. But also the players, they just seem immune to the real pressure. Well, touch wood, so far
Yeah, I think if you look back the last sort of 10 years or so, there's been a couple of Grand Slam opportunities that were missed. We lost by a point in '88 to France, when I think the occasion got to everybody. Certainly did Twickenham in '94. We were never really in that game. So tomorrow, I just think they got to carry on doing what they were doing. Easier said than done, especially against Ireland, who are going to come out and play a very different game to the other sides against us. I don't think there'll be as much loose kicking. They won't give us as many opportunities, so we're going to have to graft hard for those chances, and when they come, take them.
High risks, high rewards, so
certainly, yeah.
Can't wait. Interactive service available for the under-21s at the Knoll. Players sort of drifting back out on the field, but only in dribs and drabs. In fact, they've sort of all gone back in again. So the Dragons, what have they got to do, Mike? I mean, it does look fairly static, and they haven't broken down this blitz defence, have they?
I think that the Ospreys have just got their number taped, haven't they? They just know exactly how they're trying to attack. They're driving up the middle. They've got to try and do something different, but they haven't really got the pace out wide to worry the Ospreys, and the way the Ospreys are defending, it's all too easy for them at the moment.
Quick word from Stuart.
Yeah, thanks very much. I quickly grabbed Derwyn Jones from the dressing room. Derwyn, a slightly disjointed first half, but at least it's going the right way for you.
Yeah, I think it's been more like a defensive drill for us than a game of rugby so far. We haven't had any possession. The penalty count is very high. I think we are very disappointed in the standard referees so far. I think it's been poor. We're not just saying as excuses. I think there's some things that maybe our discipline at times hasn't been great. But I think at the moment the referee's refereeing one side. But we need to try and grasp the initiative second half, show a bit better discipline, and hopefully we'll win the game. But it's a terrible spectacle at the moment, and I don't think it's just down to the players.
I don't know if you got your spies in Thomond Park, but it's 18-15 to Munster, very tight out there as well.
Well, you know, he's going to focus on what we're doing now. If we win tonight and win next week, then we won the title. So there's a lot of work to do yet still.
I spoke about the connection between the under-21s, the Ospreys and Wales. Matthew Jones has scored a try up there for the under-21s. They're 10-5 up at half-time, so some of the plan going well.
Yeah, it's all a little bit tight, isn't it? You know, we had the score earlier on, and you know, Matthew's had a good season for the Ospreys, and he's on top form with the 21s. So if there's anybody going to win the game with the 21s, it'll be Matthew.
Yeah. 3 big 40 minutes left, Ed. Back to you.
Cheers, Stu. Yeah.
I think he's impressed the ref, is it?
Play off the ref. Okay, back to the commentators, Jonathan and Gareth.
Thanks, Ed. Tuipulotu is ready to start here. And remember, if you're watching the digital service interactive, press your red button if you want the under-21s, which Wales are leading 10 points to 5 at half-time. 10-0 Ospreys here, and the Dragons are the ones who have to get back into this one. But what a break by Elvis Savayali, superb run. But a bit of a dreadful way to end it all, because he timed his run and his angle to perfection.
Superb break, and I think one thing that Lane Jones will be disappointed is the support play. Usually so good. What a great angle. Left Steve win for dead. Bishop is trying to get to him. Unfortunately, can't hit the hole, and Serviali really should have gone to ground and waited for his support players. Unfortunately, tried to throw the pass, went astray. But what an angle to hit.
No ball, no ball. Hold. Leave him, leave him. Hands away, hold. Hold. Let's go.
Tuipulotu knocked out of play. Richard Mustoe, only try scorer so far, drills it back down. Just a little bit too much weight on it.
Back for a scrum, I think.
All the way back down halfway for the scrum. And we'll go straight back over to the Knoll for the Welsh under-21s with Nick Webb.
Wales can clean it out this time. James Ireland to Matthew Jones. All good hands from the Welsh back line, and it's Chris Chekai who goes over as Wales starts the second half with the bang they needed.
That's excellent for Wales.
That's the start they wanted. Yeah. Lovely hands.
And we've seen Chris Chekai. We saw him finishing in the game we covered, the opening one of the sequence against England when they won at Rodney Parade. Nice work by Baber. Superb work by Baber. That was very well done indeed.
Well, the crowd certainly played their part in that forward pass. Lovely work by Baber. Lovely turn.
Wait. Crouch and hold. Engage.
From that angle. maybe not forward, but I think it just slightly was.
Jason Forster not binding,
well,
says the referee.
He'd be disappointed with that because the drive was on from the Newport Gwent Dragons forwards. He didn't really have to, you know, slip his bind there, stay on. They were under immense pressure.
Oh, great kick.
That's a great kick. Game line success, 9 from 13. That is not a good start. That is because of the ferocity of the Ospreys defence. They sprint up, stop you going from the gain line, which makes it very, very difficult then for your forwards to hit the next ruck or more because you're playing behind the gain line. Advantage then is to the Ospreys.
Let's go.
Bateman lost it, but went backwards. Barry Williams picks up, slips it to Jason Spice, and it's as easy as that. And that could be a telling try as far as the Celtic League title is concerned this year.
Well, that's Barry Williams at his best, isn't it? You know, in the loose, steams off the driving maul, and then lovely slip pass. Just watch him, ball goes to the ground, he picks the ball up. Just watch the inside offload. Fend, turn, pop. Good support play by Spice. Lovely try. Watch him from here. There's the pop. Very, very easy try for Spice, but good running, good understanding.
That's his 6th in the league of the season, Jason Spice. And when it's needed to count, he's got over the whitewash. Sean Connors missed the conversion.
Yes, just watch it. He picks the ball up. Watch, it's just the fend, the slip pass, the support play. Lovely try.
Just as the under-21s got the start they needed to the second half, so have the Ospreys.
They knock on. Take advantage, knock on. Scum advantage. Advantage over.
Still 18-15 early on in the second half in Cork. So if it remains like that, then the title won't be decided this week.
Chance to counter-attack here.
Early ball. Durston. He prefers the safety first route, just to put the Ospreys back downfield. The Ospreys have another home game in which to clinch it next week. They play Edinburgh, and that's at the Knoll, 5:30 Saturday evening, live on S4C. Well, he certainly likes his gap in the line out, does Olan Trevor.
He likes his whistle in his mouth as well, actually. You don't very often see people complaining about referees, especially the management, but you can see that the Ospreys management not very happy when the whistle closing the gap. That was.
Well, the referee's assessor, Alan Richards, is sitting just in front of us. Perhaps we should have a word with him.
I might ask him now to see how he thinks he's going, actually, because he said it's a rubbish game. Whether he thinks there's anything to do with Mr. Olan Trevor, but it is a very difficult job, and
keep this out wide, okay?
Sean Connor missed with what appeared to be the simplest of conversions.
That's a better strike.
But he makes amends with that one, and that makes it 18-0, and even more work for the Dragons. There's been another try in the Wales Island under-21 game. Back to the Knoll.
Wales into the Irish 22 once more. Acres of room out left. Andrew Bishop it is who dives over for Wales's third try. And surely Wales now on their way to a third junior Grand Slam inside 7 years.
So it's a bit of an Osprey evening down there with Matthew Jones getting the first and Andrew Bishop getting the third. And I'm sure older brother David will be delighted for him. Not so delighted will be Jason Spice.
You don't see that very often. Very competent player, doesn't make many mistakes.
And Paul James there, just leaving the field. He was the captain of the Welsh under-21s when they won the Grand Slam 2 years ago. He is back off for the moment because Andrew Millward has had his 10 minutes in the bin.
Hands away, White!
It looks as though James Merriman will be following in the footsteps of Paul James,
Hands away, White!
leading the Welsh under-21s to a Grand Slam.
You're okay, you're on.
Tuipulotu had a little option, but to pump it downfield. Seve Ali gets away from his first would-be tackler. Steve Wynn brings him down.
That was slightly high as well.
You're okay. You're okay.
I think the ref wants.
I get the number, guys.
Captain Jason Foster.
Yeah. If I got the number, it'd be in the bin. All right.
Breaks through here. Again, yeah, it's the right decision, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, he said if he had got the number, he'd have been in the bin. He didn't need to get the number. The red cap would have pointed out who it was. Rhys Oakley, who very quickly at the end of the first half followed Andrew Millward to the bin, will very quickly in the second half following back on the field.
Wait there, Hooker. Wait. Give me a second, give me a second. Okay.
So both sides restored to 15.
Okay, flat.
Tandy, good tackle.
Release.
Very good tackle. Lined him up, knocked him down.
There's Johnny Bryant. Good drive though from the Osprey forwards. Back inside from Connor to Newman. Spice. Seve Ali. A rather speculative drop goal.
This could go anywhere.
But it could turn into a rather useful chip kick forward. David Bishop following it.
Wales 27, Ireland 5.
The irony is, the biggest cheer of the evening at St Helens is for what's happening at the Knoll. The score 27-5 just being relayed over the tannoy, and the crowd already rejoicing in one Grand Slam. Tuipulotu couldn't take. Tandy, as ever, ready with the pickings, but it had gone forward.
No ball. No ball. Get it, let's go. Come on. Come up. I want you square. I want you square. Square up, okay? Coach, you hold the gauge. Stay bound, forward.
And the front rows are up, but referee allows Rhys Oakley.
Forward, forward. There we are.
And in fact, he says he knocked it on as well, so the Ospreys will have the put in.
Let's see what they come up with here. They've usually got something up their sleeve from this area and this range.
Work, guys.
There we are.
Thurston just drifting across there. But they go to the blind side. Change of mind from Spice out to Saviali. Not as they meant it, but it's worked anyway for Musto. And the penalty goes against David Bishop for taking the man off the ball.
Shoulder him out. Number 13.
He's chasing the ball there. Keep an eye on number 13.
Keep in the bin next.
There he is. Well, that is absolutely nothing. Nothing wrong with that. He was just trying to get into a position where he could support it. No one fell to the floor. You've just got to get on with the game and leave the players play.
Just leant slightly into his man, and that was it.
Could be another man of the match coming up, you know.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Up and down. He jumped up and down. Go back. Go back. Go back. Your guy jumped. Ball wasn't thrown.
As animated as ever, Lynn Jones.
I won't go for that shouting, guys, either, by the way. No, I won't.
Not so animated, is he, that?
Wait.
There's a bit of thinking to be done for Chris Anderson. Only 3 more games he's got left. Munster and Connacht at home, and a visit to Edinburgh sandwiched in between the two. Oh, that's a free ball for Musto, and it's a second for Jason Spice, and a third for the Ospreys, and they are now on the hunt of a bonus point.
Well, it's very difficult to see what happened, isn't it?
Tony.
Right. Ball definitely goes back, doesn't it?
Number 8 lost it. Baber tried to get it back on the...
Wasn't he in offside position now? Let's have a look at it once again. It's definitely a try anyway.
Jason Spice won't mind. He'll just say thanks a lot. 6 becomes 7 for the season.
Ospreys 23.
Missed conversion, but the Ospreys away and clear at 23 points to 0. And they'll be wondering now what's happening in Munster. Well, we can find out.
A very disjointed second half at Musgrave Park. No score since the break, so it's still Munster 18, Ulster 15. Ulster have been doing the bulk of the attacking though, and a try would mean the Celtic League title would go to the Ospreys.
How is it? Play! Hands away wide!
Steve Wynn picks up the loose ball. The ringer and the Dragons desperately need a score now.
Hold. Let's go. Take advantage.
Advantage comes from Oakley's spillage in midfield though. And it's the trusty left boot of Adrian Durston that plants them back downfield.
Okay. Shut up. Shut up.
And the Ospreys, full of running rugby now. Their confidence is high and they want this bonus point. And they've got a fair bit of time to get it as well.
Oh, better.
And there's the ball goes forward. He said he wasn't offside because it was open play. I thought it might have come off. I think it came off the Dragons' back row. So
mass changes for the Dragons, just short of the hour mark. The 2 props, Snow and Anthony departing, as is Peter Sidoli just behind them. Rhys Thomas, Adam Black. And Luke Charteris coming on, and Rod Snow going for good at the end of the season.
Alright. But he jumped, you see, so. You okay, 4? I'll word about that shouting shit. I'll word more about that shouting crap.
New Charteris, just over a foot injury.
Right, but that's it, you guys do it early, you know. Yeah.
And his progress will be monitored by Mike Ruddock. Remember, there's a Welsh tour to come in the summer to Canada and the States.
Big gap.
And with a fair contingent, one would feel, going on the Lions tour.
Yeah. Well, we hope so anyway.
Chance for one or two others.
Dick Best's comments.
He's not one of the selectors though, is he? So
no, I think, you know, he's a lot of players will go, and it's up to the players then to work their way into the Test 15.
Going forward. No. Return to 33! 33! Wait, straight in. Crouch and hold. Engage.
they're just having trouble clearing from that back row at the moment. James Bater is having it difficult getting the clean pickup he wants to set his back row colleagues and Jason Spice going. Mind you, it want them to try the Spice earlier, so they may want to try the same again. It's getting very, very scrappy at the moment.
There's just, you know, no confidence, no threat whatsoever coming from the Dragons tonight. It's a very, very flat performance, especially behind.
Pitch side, Stewart.
Yeah, thanks very much, Gareth. I'm alongside Sean Hawley, assistant coach with the Ospreys. Sean, you seem to have tried to pick the pace up second half, but this diplomatically, you're not being helped by the man in the middle, really.
No, it's not pretty to watch now at the moment, really. There's a lot of error there. It's quite difficult to referee, and there's a lot of penalties. And looking at my penalty count here, we've given away 13 penalties, so disappointing really for a number of people that turned up. But I suppose the main thing is that we're 23-0 up.
No, you're busy getting on with your business here. I don't know whether you're concerned of what's going on elsewhere, but it's 18-15 to Munster.
Well, you know, we just got to concentrate on our own things too. Munster are a good side, even without the internationals, and they're playing at home. They're very difficult to beat out there, as good as Ulster are. So, if we can put this one to bed now in the second half, we can look forward to a home tie next week to hopefully clinch the title.
Thanks, Sean.
Pleasure.
I think they're quietly confident they'll win the title, whether it's tonight or next week.
No, it's okay.
It'll certainly be one or the other. I don't think they'll need to take it any further than that.
Ball goes forward.
There's been real problems for the Dragons in the contact area. They've knocked so many ball on in the ruck or maul area.
33! Watch this side. Wait! Crouch and hold. Engage. Use it. It's out. Here we are, guys.
Well, neither side can get any semblance of decent possession at the moment. Ospreys, 13 wins in 17 games before this evening. And that's the best record by far. The Dragons have got 10 from 16. It'll be an interesting one because the Scarlets playing the Blues on Sunday. That's live on S4C as well. If they were to get a bonus point win, they'd be up on the same number of points as the Dragons.
Hands away now,
the Dragons got to be careful. They want to stay in that top four. Nice slip from Ringer, and it wasn't knocked on that time.
Hands away, White! Back it up!
Again, the Dragons cannot find a way through this Osprey defence. Great pressure from each and every one of those Ospreys players. Nathan Bonner-Evans there, 20, reclaiming the ball on the floor.
Hands away! Hands away!
Spice using every trick in the book to get it away. Andy Newman back there to Andy Millward. Tandy Swirls through the first attempt of Steve Wynn. And in the end, Durston decides that the hoof downfield is the better policy. Griffiths had retired back into his 22.
Come back! Come back!
But hasn't found touch. Connor. Baker. Durston, that was forward. But the touch judge is having a word with a few of the forwards who are having their own little off the ball.
Yeah. Bounce anywhere, this.
All kinds happening. And that just about sums it up. Yeah, the less said about that little passage, the better. For days, bumping into each other.
This is the highlight, a sliced kick. Doesn't seem to be much, like I've said before, much heart in the Dragon side tonight.
6. Calm down.
No, there's no oomph, there's no zip, nothing there.
Go.
James Baker, as the Ospreys look for this fourth try, this bonus point.
Get away. He's okay. He's okay. Squeeze ball.
But it's been stolen by the Dragons.
He's okay with squeeze ball. He took it. Come back. Don't touch him.
Tuipulotu underneath it. Well taken. We've seen Tuipulotu at full back, at centre, and outside half this evening. Kicking leaves a bit to be desired. Spice. Connor plugs the corners again, but it bounces back infield.
Be a very handy kick there.
Yeah. But in the end, Griffiths had plenty of time and gets it away from the danger area.
Keep going!
And on this big weekend of rugby,
come on guys, move out! Move out!
France-Italy will kick off at 1, but programmes concerning Wales, 3 o'clock for Grandstand, 3:10 for a Club Rugby Rhyngwladol, and on Sunday, Scarlets Blues, as the Blues try and get into Europe by hook or by crook.
Good tackle locally.
Have a look at all the action over the weekend at 5:30 on BBC 2 or 10:35 on S4C, Monday and Sunday respectively.
I think that's Andy Newman,
Yep.
is it?
It's in a bit of pain actually.
Yeah, the good run, look, good charge, here he comes. Just see what happens at the end. Just twists his knee.
Just twisted on that left knee.
7, don't get involved, right? Don't. Okay? Twist.
Still 18-15 in Cork, which would mean the championship wouldn't be decided this evening. And the under-21s well on the way to a Grand Slam.
Blood, yes, smoke is bleeding.
21s with a Grand Slam. Can the senior side do the same tomorrow? What do you reckon, Jonathan?
Let's hope so.
It's one of those, isn't it? It is one of those where it is a very, very close call. Gareth Wyatt has had precious little to do all evening. He departs. Matthew Vita comes on. which means that Jamie Ringer is going to have a spell on the wing. That was second for Jason Spice, third for the Ospreys.
Stand up. He's on the wing.
That's Matthew Vita, who's packing down in the back row.
No, it didn't come out. Stay bound. Use it. Hold. Sorry, I thought you were supposed to.
Tupelotu's had to play a lot of the kicking game this evening.
Right, blacks, come on, move on. Dragons out. Dragons out. Let's go.
Dozen minutes for the Ospreys to get that bonus point. Give them a little bit more breathing space at the top. Not that they need it. Great one-handed pass by Spice to get it away from danger. Sean Connor will probably complain that it wasn't right there in his midriff.
Yeah, unlucky bounce, but made the most of it, didn't he?
Replacement for the Ospreys, number 19, Richie Pugh, replaces number 7, Steve Tandy.
Big round of applause for Steve Tandy, who's performed well for the Ospreys. And Richie Pugh comes on, and he's another one who will run and get about the park, and he'll also win the ball on the deck for you like that.
No full back there.
Ben Breeze is the one herring backwards. Took it over his own try line though, so had to play it.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit more time than he thought.
Don't go early, guys. Don't go early, Dragons.
Good position this for the Ospreys.
Let's go. Don't go early. You have it.
Line out ball secured by Nathan Bonner Evans.
Get out, 7. Get out. Get out, 3. Get out. Get out.
The Osprey forwards regroup, go for the surge towards the Dragons line. They're slipping it away, one way, then the other, changing the point of attack. So the Dragons can't concentrate their defence in one place. But they've lost it, have they? Yes, indeed, they have.
Well, he spotted more knock-ons than I've seen this evening.
Gotta come back around. Okay. You're number 18, I called you. 20 and 18, you gotta come back around, guys. Try. What? Draw attention. Time off.
Well, while there's time off for an injury, we can go back to Munster-Ulster.
Strikes it well, curls it in well. It's there, Burke knocks it over. Munster 21, Ulster 15.
Paul Burke then making sure that a kick won't do it now for Ulster. He'll take 2 kicks or a converted try. And then Bonner Evans, who took that line out a second ago, just a knock on the hand. And for the second time, and this time for keeps, Paul James comes on to replace Andrew Millward, former Wales under-21 captain, led them to the Grand Slam 2 years ago. The class of 2005 are on the way to repeating that.
He's okay, he's okay. Leave it now, leave it, hold, hold, hold.
Tupelotu threads it through. De Blanche has a think about it. And we will return for a while, just not too far away to the knoll, Back to the Wales Under-21 games with Nick Webb and Robert Jones.
Good play all round, and it would be great to just finish this game off with a great try, and then we can start the celebrations.
Pick up from Peris under pressure. The Irish pack down to 7 now after Henry's dismissal. And Wales get turnover ball. Aled Thomas gets Wales going. Welcome to BBC Two, Wales analogue viewers. Wales with 3 tries, heading for the Grand Slam, looking for a 4th with the Irish down to 14. James Merriman. Back it comes for the Welsh replacements to combine, all of them joining the party now. Scott Roberts out to John Mills. Mills just the hint of a dummy outside, didn't have the pace to get to the corner. Away from Wayne Evans. Wales combining well, but the pass going astray. Merriman finds Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams just held by Trimble. Shaker goes to the corner, and the try is given. It's a second for Chris Shaker, and Wales put the icing on the cake as they head for a second junior Grand Slam in the space of 3 years.
Second try for Chris Shaker, and great way for Wales to finish. Still probably a couple of minutes left, but Wales needed to finish, I think, with a bang. And Wayne Evans and Aled Thomas, it was a poor pass actually, it was virtually a man and ball, but James Merriman, the captain, I must be honest, he's looked so impressive this evening. His work rate, the graft that he's put in, has been tremendous, and a lovely pass from him here. He takes them on, he commits the player, and then did this go forward? Well, it certainly looked maybe as if it did, but the referee giving Wales the benefit of the doubt, and certainly giving Wales the perfect finish to a great season for them.
Aled Thomas taking over the kicking duties from Matthew Jones, who finished with 17 points this evening. Thomas has just put that one wide of the left-hand upright as he looked at it. It remains 32-5, and the party about to begin here at the Knoll.
Yeah, and 7,200 people, I'm sure, will be delighted when the final whistle goes. Not just the fact that this under-21 side have certainly in the second half taken it to Ireland and played some great rugby, but more importantly that it's potentially the start of such a great weekend.
David Changling spotting the Welsh knock-on, and Ireland maybe with a chance to salvage something, but they have looked a beaten side for most this second half after Wales ran in 17 points in the opening 10 minutes of the second period. McNamee doing a brave job salvaging that one. Steenson, the long miss pass. Mackenzie dumped in midfield. Back from Marshall to Steenson, who's probed in vain really throughout the evening. Just one Irish try has come so far. Will they get a second in stoppage time as Andrus the prop crawls forward? Wales penalised for hands on the deck.
Wales just get back now. They don't want to concede anything later on. They want to finish on top of this game. They don't want to give anything away to this Irish side, but probably in the second half haven't deserved to cross the line.
Ireland looking to create something through their forwards. It's looked very comfortable indeed for Wales in this second half. There's the final whistle. Wales have done it. Chris Davies' men celebrate once more. Just 2 years after the last Grand Slam, it's another crop of winners in red shirts. The future's bright, the future's red.
Yeah, certainly they've set us on the way, haven't they? It's another Grand Slam for the under-21s. They've shown the senior side the way this weekend. The second half performance far better than the first, which was so scrappy, and certainly we've seen potentially some real stars of the future. Aled Brew's impressed. Matthew Jones, who we know all about, has really come of age, I think, this evening. Certainly in the second half, he managed to take control, and obviously Kacek, Andrew Bishop are names I'm sure we'll hear about in the future. But it was set about, of course, by the forward platform. Well done, boys.
2 tries from Chris Chaker, 1 from Andrew Bishop and 1 from Matthew Jones in his 17 points. It's finished here at the Knoll. Wales 32, Ireland 5.
So tremendous start to the weekend then from the under-21s.
Welcome back to the exciting St Helens.
Hands away now.
Yeah, nearly at the bonus point. The Ospreys held up over the line.
Hands away.
I think Lynn Jones is really, you know, disappointed. I think the execution, he is really desperate to get the bonus point now.
It was from a line-out drive. James Bater almost got there, aided by Richie Pugh, but the touch judge and referee there together, and they said no, the ball not grounded, held up. And the frustration has been growing on the face of Lynn Jones as he sees time running out for this 4th try. Well, your turn, Jonathan.
Number 1, Ospreys. Sorry.
Man of the match decision is yours, Jonathan.
Well, I've been very impressed with
Replacement for the Ospreys.
Williams.
Number 3, Andrew Milward returns for number 1.
Scoring 2 tries is the best man of the match tonight is Jason Spice.
He's kept plugging away as always. Round of applause for Duncan Jones, who's leaving the field. Doesn't look too serious an injury, ankle possibly. So Andrew Milward back on for
Leave it,
whatever. Olan Trevor add to the minute of normal time remaining. That's all the Ospreys have to get this 4th try they want. Spice, Barry Williams, good hands from Sean Connor. Pops it over the top to Seve Ali. Seve Ali's looked dangerous all evening, carrying that ball in one hand as he likes to do.
Numbers on not that side.
Oh, and as Sean Connor tries to flick it onto Terblanche, it comes to grief.
Tonight's BCC man of the match is Ospreys number 9, Jason Spice.
There we are, lovely break. Goes down, great in his feet, very, very strong. Doesn't panic, goes to ground, then turns. Unfortunately, Jason Spice on the wrong side there. There were numbers on the left-hand side, especially with some tired Dragons forwards.
Stoppage time is all now that remains. Oh, but there could be a late chance. Oh no, there won't be. Referee was playing advantage. It looked as though the Ospreys are being thrown a lifeline as the ball was spilt forward by Tuipulotu on his own try line, but it wasn't to be, not yet anyway.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks. Yeah,
There's the knock on, but I think Luke Tater just charging was offside.
Go on, 2.5 to go. Let's go, guys. Went forward. 15, yeah.
Knocked on at the line out. So the Ospreys will have the scrum and the platform.
Wait now, wait.
Richard Musto's first half, followed by Jason Spice's double in the second. The Ospreys tries.
Leave him.
And the 4th would make it tonight really worthwhile, but there comes yet another handling error, and that statistic is very obvious from both sides this evening.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed.
He'll be disappointed the fact that they haven't even got on the scoreboard.
Very inept performance from the Dragons. Poor possession territory, just no cutting edge whatsoever.
Yeah, we're back up.
That has been the difference. Lynn Jones won't be. He'd be delighted with a win. Disappointed there's no bonus point yet, but
off the foot.
He'd be disappointed with the loose play in the second half.
That was pretty shambolic from the scrum.
Hands away wide! Hands away wide!
Hands away
On the ground,
called a couple of times. And it then appeared on the Osprey side, so there's only ever going to be one result.
It's a rook! I count that? Lord, 3 times. Keep big gap here, guys. Hold on you.
Well, no indication yet
1 out.
how much time Mr. Trevor is going to add on. Weber,
Let's go.
Steve Wynn has discarded the headgear, but making headway.
He's been the one that's really, run the best angles for the Dragons tonight. Turn the ball over. Now it's an opportunity. They've got to give it this side.
Now then,
I don't think Paddy's going to go the length, but
but he'll get support from Luke Tate. Any quick boys following up there? Well, Ted Blanche has now been caught up in part of the maul.
Hands away, Black!
Paddy's on his own again, look.
It's Barry Williams on this side to corner. Back inside to Barry Williams, to Ted Blanche. Durston is in the gap. Adrian Durston for the try line. And Adrian Durston gets the bonus point. They waited until the very last second to do it, but they did it. And the Ospreys have got themselves a bonus point. And surely the Celtic League title as well.
This was the final run in. Breeze does his best to get there, but just got too much to make up. Lovely try. Watch this inside ball. Great pass. But it's to Blanche. Checks what's about. Who's about. Durston. 40 yards. Goes down early. Try bonus point. Really after the escape, he should just blow that final whistle.
But it's all academic, and it was the very last move of the game that was the telling one, because that is what gave the Ospreys the bonus point that he worked so hard for. 30 points to nil, the Ospreys have won. They've done everything they can, but what happened in the game between Munster and Ulster, that's the all-important question. Back over to Cork.
But tries are exactly what Ulster, exactly what the Ospreys need now. They trail by 6 points. They need a converted try to win the game, a converted try to give the Celtic League title to the Ospreys, who lead 23-0 as we speak against the Dragons. But it's scrum ball to Munster, 5 yards out.
That was my foot is too done.
If they can kill the ball, if they can eventually get the ball in, that is, if Andy Ireland lets them, the match will be all over. Murphy delays, another disruptive scrum picked up at the back by Stephen Keogh, the replacement number 8. All Munster need to do is to kick this ball out of touch, out of play, which is what Frank Murphy does, the man of the match. That's enough for Munster. They win a scrappy match at Musgrave Park by 21 points to 15.
So the Celtic League title is not yet in the hands of the Ospreys. They'll have to wait.